I'm Laurence and I'm autistic. Why am I telling you this? Because I want you to know that many autistic people like me who have Asperger's syndrome have remarkable qualities. I've just been talking about eidetic memory. That is the ability to memorize everything or to remember lots of things. And in my case, it is everywhere that I have ever travelled to. And of course, other people have benefited from this amazing ability of mine. For instance, back in the 1970s, 80s and 90s, as an antique dealer, I would travel around England or America. In America, I drove through 44 states looking for antiques. And whenever I go back there and I rent a car and I'm asked if I want a map or sat-nav, GPS, although I actually take one because not so much for getting lost, but more for ease of use, because roads change. I'm able to memorize virtually everywhere I go. That is everywhere I have been to. And I can tell you why I prefer to use my memory to that of a GPS, because once in Arizona, trying to cross over to near the Grand Canyon, I looked at a route on the map and thought, this looks great. It looks like a shortcut. It's going to take off 170 miles off my journey. What happened? It added an extra 106 miles on the end of the journey, because after driving 53 miles to the end of the road, and this is using the GPS, the road turned into a track, and I realised I had to turn round. I didn't have a four-wheel drive. Anyway, back in the last quarter of the 20th century, there used to be thousands upon thousands of antique shops. I'm an antique dealer. This is my business. And this is how I learned of wonderful pieces of scenery all over the country. That is all over England and also all over America. That is in the 44 odd states that I visited. And because I memorize all these places, I'm able to remember the hotels I stayed at in the quaint valleys or along the top of the mountains, and the amazing parks, country parks, canyons that I've been to. Back in the 70s, 80s and 90s, friends of mine used to use me as a chauffeur because I didn't drink. So they could drink to their heart's content, and they left it to me to find amazing restaurants where we could eat dinner at. And this is what I would do. Even if I hadn't been to any place before, I would somehow pinpoint somewhere in my mind and say, we're going to go here, lads. What would happen? We'd go into the restaurant and they would serve fantastic food. So I thought, as an exercise, I would now put this all to good use. During the next few weeks, I'm going to be making a number of videos of where I have travelled in the United Kingdom and in America. And I'm going to tell you about off-the-beaten routes that you should visit, and the little villages you're likely to find, and the wonderful little eateries, and the little hotels. So, what I ask you to do is watch this space.